my name is Kira and welcome to my vlog. This is the first in my series of Summer Splash Readathon vlogs. So this month I'm going to be doing something really exciting. I'm participating in the Summer Splash Readathon hosted by Sally Thames and a bunch of other creators on BookTube and Bookstagram. And it's basically a summer reading challenge like you did in school when you were a kid, but for adults. And I'm very excited. They created a bingo board and there's a bunch of different prompts for activities as well as books. In total there's 14 bookish prompts and I'm going to try to clear the entire board. It's very ambitious, especially considering I finished 7 books in June, which personally I'm proud of. I think 7 books is quite a lot, but nowhere near enough to clear the board. So we'll see how good I'll be doing, especially since I'm also traveling at the end of the month and I have work and an internship and people coming over, so there's quite a lot happening this month outside of reading, but we'll see how much I can get to. And because of that, also my TBR is quite in flux. I have a bit of a plan, but some of the books are at my parents' house, some of them I might be getting from the library, so it's all, I'm taking it one day at a time, I think. Yeah, but I'm really excited to tell you what I'm currently reading. So currently I have started the prompt Spice It Up, which is reading a book by an author of color. So I am reading The Cabinet by Eun-Soo Kim. Yes. Yeah. And I am loving it so far. It is definitely spicing up my life because it's a very unique book. The stories are amazing, the writing style is amazing, and yeah, I'm a bit more than halfway through. So I will hopefully be finishing this within the next few days. So the second prompt I'm working on is Roots, which is reading a childhood favorite. And for that, I'm gonna be reading Mariken Elisabeth på Junibakken. I'm sorry if my Norwegian pronunciation is not perfect. I am attempting to read this book in Norwegian. It's a picture book that I got from the library, so I'm hoping it should be fine. I started learning Norwegian almost a year ago now. And I think it's time that I read some picture books, especially since I've noticed what I really need to improve on is my vocabulary. And I'm really excited to read this because it's by the Swedish author Astrid Lindgren, so it is actually a translation. And when I was a child, I read the German translation of this book called Medita, and it was just it was filled with stories about these characters. So I'm excited to see which of the story I will be reading because this is definitely a lot shorter than the book I read growing up, but it's the same characters and I'm excited to dive in and hopefully expand my comprehension. And then the third prompt I'm currently also reading is For Sunny Days, which is a book with yellow on the cover. For that, I'm reading Your Computer is on Fire. I started reading this book last fall for a class in my master's degree and it was really good. And I really enjoyed it and I would learn so much new that I thought I'd actually pick up the book. And since I think January or so, I've been slowly working through some of the chapters, reading an essay here and there, and yeah, I've learned something new every time. It's really interesting. Even if the topic itself doesn't interest me, I'll go through it and I'm like, oh wow, I learned so much. And it's also very topical. I think it was released only last year. Yeah, and I have around 5 essays left, I think. So I'm hoping to read maybe 1 a day for the upcoming days and finally finish it this month. And that's what I'm currently reading on, so I'm gonna go get back to reading. days, so I thought it's about time for an update. Yeah, July has been a really good reading month so far. I'm a lot farther in the Summer Splash Readathon than I thought I would be at this point. So the first book I finished was The Cabinet, and I really enjoyed this one. Wasn't super happy with the ending, but overall it was a very good book to start the readathon off with. After that, I can't remember which one I finished, which of the next two prompts I finished first, but I finished Sunny Days and Surf's Up. And for Sunny Days, I finished reading Your Computer's Not on Fire. No, for Sunny Days, I finished reading Your Computer's on Fire. It's a collection of academic essays on technology and the current state, kind of also the history of technology and how we're currently at with it. So it was very interesting. Some essays I really loved, others were a bit boring, but that's just because they're academic. So overall, very interesting read, and I'm happy to have finally finished it after reading that for months. And then kind of the complete opposite was completing the Surf's Up bingo square, because I finished that one in one day. So Surf's Up was a book with a body of water on the cover, and for that I read The Woman in Cabin 10. This was just fun overall. I think that's the best way to sum it up. What I didn't know was that it actually plays on a cruise going from England to Norway. So it was really cool to see the way Scandinavia was represented in there. Yeah, I could relate to some parts, so that was really fun, you know, seeing that, oh my gosh, I can understand some of the Norwegian phrases and stuff. So it was very enjoyable, very suspenseful, and it was surprisingly quick. I thought it would take me a lot longer, but I finished it in one whole day, and I'm happy. I'm really glad I picked it up. And then I'm also currently reading Mariken og Elisabeth på Jyllibakken. I finished the first story this morning, so I have one more story left, and I'm reading this for Roots. Yes, I'm enjoying it so far, and it's going okay with the Norwegian, understanding quite a bit. I have to look up some words, and it's a bit annoying when I look up stuff and then I can't find the actual definition, but I can usually understand based on context, so I can still understand it, and it's great diving into a story I already know. And then the next prompt I want to be working on, I have forgotten the name of, but it's the one where you're branch out. So the next prompt I'm working on is branch out, and for that I'm gonna read The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. I'm really excited. This is as far as I can tell, it's a collection of short stories, and they're more in the horror genre, which is not something I've read a lot of, if at all. Both short stories and horror, so I'm very excited to read this. The cover looks absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you can tell, but it's amazing. And there was a 3 for 2 deal at the bookstore on English books last week, so this is one of the ones I bought. It is almost 1 week into the readathon, and I've already completed prompts, and I'm well on my way to completing some more, and I'm very excited, even if it doesn't feel like summer here, but that's okay. Mentally it's summer, and that's what matters.